Hello, hello, welcome and welcome back. This is going to be a collective reading from the perspective of Cancer today. I have a couple cards out on the table. What we're trying to manifest is the Empress, so we're trying to manifest comfort. What we need to negotiate with is the Hierophant, right? So we need to negotiate effectively with the old guard, with the rules. And the advice for obtaining what we desire is the Ace of Swords, which is basically remembering that you hold the pen and that the Hierophant is a character in your script that you're writing that works for you, the Empress. And the goal is to become the Empress, right? But it's like we need to go through the Hierophant to obtain that comfort. And the Hierophant is rules, right? It's belief systems. It's you need to pay your dues before you experience that, or it's not so easy, or it's that kind of energy. And the card in the bottom of the deck, the universe wants to remind you that your superpower is the Nine of Wands. And this is talking to me right now about the energy of divine stubbornness. That's the only way that I can talk about it, where it's like an ability to hold the vision and an ability to fully commit to what it is that you're doing, even in spite of adversity or anything like that, because you know the reward is sweet. You know that it is possible, and it's just like hanging in there. I'm getting the visual of those cat posters, right? Like hanging in. And I was also seeing the energy of like when news reporters broadcast from like the eye of a storm or a hurricane or a tornado zone, and you see, they're broadcasting live on TV and everything's blowing and they're hanging on to something. And, I'm sure there's plenty of reporters that hate that assignment, but I'm sure there's plenty of other reporters that love that, because it's like to document that, to go through that, to earn that feather in their cap or whatever is so worth it. And they know that the reward, the end, if they can hang on through this hurricane, that at the other side of this, they're going to become the Empress, right? The Empress is waiting for them. They're going to be comfortable. So you're hanging in there because you're moving towards your Empress energy, but we need to negotiate with this Hierophant. And today I'm noticing, the way that his hand is, it's giving me like an not so fast kind of energy. And the conversation that's happening between the Empress and the Hierophant, which I think is just a conversation in your head, right? Because we're talking wands, we're talking mental abstract energy. I think the Hierophant, belief systems, dogma, paying your dues, is saying to the Empress, this desire for comfort, oh, you really think you're just going to have it so easy, right? That you have this dream and you're gonna pursue this dream and it's just gonna happen for you. It don't work like that, sweetie. Like that's what I feel like the Emperor, excuse me, not the Emperor, the Hierophant is saying to the Empress. And mostly I think it's a mental conversation that you're having with yourself, because it's wands. And because I feel like the tower energy that's moving through this Nine of Wands, right? The hurricane, the storm, is not exactly ours or yours so much as it is the collective construct itself that's deconstructing, right? And the Nine of Wands is the energy of hanging in there while you pass through the fear threshold, right? Because the fear threshold is where all of our fears kick up and are thrown in our face, right? So if you are, what this implies is basically if you have the Nine of Wands showing up, you're leveling up, right? So you're about to move up to the next level, but to go through the boundary between levels, that is the fear threshold, right? It's like the firewall of the matrix, effectively. And it's designed to push you back. It's designed to scare you back, to think that you're not worthy of going over, that you'll regret it, or yada yada. But it's like, that if you pursue your dream and you pursue your vision, that it will happen, right? But again, the voice is saying, how dare you think it be so easy? Like that's really what I'm getting here. Or you're trying to take the easy way out, or it's a cop out or something like that, because perhaps what it is that you want to do looks like a lot of fun to other people, right? Maybe compared to most matrixy jobs, you're trying to manifest something for yourself that's a lot more fun, right? So maybe you want to start a band, right, or something like that. But somebody's saying like, oh, you just want the easy way out. But it's like, it's not easy, right? It's going to require hours and hours and hours of dedication. And you're going to have to really put yourself out there and do your thing. Nine of Wands, right? You're going to have to hang in there. But you know that it's possible, right? And one thing that I've come to understand just from a lot of the readings that I've done for other people is that it seems like our mind gets poisoned by people in our environment that chose not to pursue their dream, right? So the last thing they want to do is see you pursue yours, because the story that they were given, that they believed, right, belief systems, is that it's not easy, it's not possible, it can't happen, that the only way out is to just kind of surrender to the matrix and live a very matrixy life and do all of just like the very corporate kind of things that you're supposed to do. So if you had any desire beyond the typical expected roles here, you might have been pushed back, right? If your desire was to pursue art in any of its forms, or whatever, or YouTube or something like that, right? It's like you could have pushback. And again, it might not actually be anybody in your environment that's saying this to you. It could just be the voice in your head. It could just be that you're scrolling through Instagram and you come across that classic video of Kim Kardashian where she's like, nobody wants to work these days. Everybody just wants the easy way out or whatever. And because she's such a hard worker, right? But still, it's like, quite frankly, it's like, if you want to get anywhere near that, well, that's a whole other story, because no one wants to get near that. But you know what I'm saying? It's like nothing really does come easy in this world. You do have to put in the effort and put in the work. So it's like, you know that. But it's a matter of allowing yourself to be comfortable, right? Because one of the first things that I heard when I saw this dynamic was getting comfortable with being comfortable. Right? That's almost like the trick of the Empress energy, because something tells us that comfort is a cop-out, right? That we're either being selfish or self-indulgent or something like that. But I always tell people that it's like, self-care is not selfish. It's only projected as such by people that neglect their own self-care. Because again, it's like, if somebody out there, say you had, the dream to become you were going to be a potter, make pottery or something like that. And you happen to encounter somebody out there in the field that themselves wanted to pursue pottery, but they didn't commit to it. They didn't really try. They liked pottery. They wanted to do it. They said, oh, I could be a potter one day. They went to the museum a couple times, but they never did it. They decided to do something else, right? Somebody came along and said, what you should really just do is this other thing, right? You're going to answer phones for the rest of your life. That's what you're going to do. And they said, okay, Grandpa answered phones and Aunt Becky Sue answered phones, so I'm going to answer phones too. And they gave up the pottery. But then you came along and you were pushing your pottery and blah, blah, blah. And one day you got to the point where you had enough pieces that you were going to be at the farmer's market. And the person answering phones sees you at the farmer's market and they said, oh, I tried to do pottery. It ain't going to work. I'm just going to tell you now. You might as well give it up because there's no money in it. But you're already making money, right? You're already doing it. But they get in there, right? And effectively what they're saying to you is, please, please don't prove to me that it was possible. Because the last thing that my ego can handle right now is realizing that I could have done it, that I never had to surrender, that there was always a way. I just had to try, right? So what I would say here is there's an opportunity, with the advice card being the Ace of Swords, right? Reminding you that you hold the pen, that this is your script, that these are all characters in your script. We're going to take this energy and we're going to flip it, okay? You want to affirm that I want the easy way out, or I'm just trying to do this because I think it's easier, because I just think it's comfortable, or it's going to be this cushy life. Let's co-create it. Let's co-create it, right? You think that what I'm pursuing is not work or something like that. Let's co-create it. You think, because again, it's like if you're at the farmer's market making your pottery, right? You know how much work goes into that. Your hands are probably dry as a bone, I bet, because you've been sitting there spinning and stirring. I don't even know what they do, glazing. You know what I mean? Hours and hours and hours and hours. Your arms are probably killing you, but you want to affirm that this is the easy life? Then let's co-create that. I love it. Great. You want to affirm that this is a permanent vacation and that I'm living the dream? Let's co-create it, right? And I'll do you one better, right? I'm going to invite you into this reality and recognize that you can have the same life too. It's never too late, right? So it's almost like, again, kind of beating these different matrix programs at their own game, where it's like, we can make, it's the Solomon's Temple mythos, right? Getting the mind to work for you. I know it says getting the demons to work for you, but I always see it as the mind, right? The mind is the ultimate demon, right? It's the thing that works against us. In 99% of the readings that I do for people, I have to tell them, sorry, sis, but the ultimate adversary in your story is you. Like, I'm not seeing external characters that have any power over your narrative, right? Especially if I'm working with people that are conscious, active creators. It's like, if you're a conscious, active being, nobody's writing for you. And I'm pretty sure, I would say I'm pretty sure that NPCs don't get readings from me, but I've done a lot of Hollywood readings, and I'll tell you it's a whew. But I digress. All of this is showing me that, again, you have tremendous scripting authority, that, again, this is a character in your narrative. So if you write the rules, then let's change them. And if the rule maker wants to say you're not allowed to do this because it's easy, just co-create and say, oh, thank you for affirming that it's easy. And I'm now going to rewrite the fact that I give permission to myself and you. So I revoke your authority to speak over my name, and sana sana sa. Okay, so let's pull some oracles, see what we want. Okay. So the overall that's going along with the Nine of Wands is I deserve to experience love in my life, right? So again, the Hierophant is almost like saying, how dare you think you deserve to experience love in your life, right? Love in your career, love in all sectors, comfort, whatever you want to call it, right? You deserve it, in spite of the how dare you. Mm-mm. Underneath the Empress, it says, I'm rich inside and out, right? So this often talks to me about the fact that what you're manifesting is a reflection of your internal universe, right? The external world that we experience is a reflection of our internal world. And if you're experiencing good things, it's because it's a reflection of where you're at, right? So it's not a fluke. It's not cheating the system. It's not a cop-out. It's a reflection of where you're at. And then underneath the Ace of Swords, we have creativity. Okay, I love that, right? So again, doing a little creative writing exercise where it's like re-scripting these voices in our head, right? Because I don't feel like it's a person that we're talking about. I feel like it's really just the voice in your head, right? So take it as it resonates. Let me think if there's anything else. No, I think that's pretty much everything that I have to share here. Well, thank you so much, Cancer. I will see you when I see you. And again, if you're interested in a private extended of your own, let me know. I got you. Bye, y'all.